Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing for Monday, the 3rd of July. I'm Derek Clark, and I'm joined this morning by Euan Robertson. How are we doing, Euan?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Tremendous. Looking forward to heading out to Bangkok later, flying out at 9:30 tonight. Just to give you a rundown, folks, Orsa is taking place this week. It's going to be a fantastic occasion over there in Bangkok, and we'll hope to bring you as much footage as possible. In terms of the morning briefings, I'm doing this one this morning. I'll be at about 36,000 feet in the air by the time that tomorrow's video comes around. So I think Johnny is going to be in the host chair, but I will be coming live from Bangkok at various points throughout the week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Lots of great stuff coming your way. And as ever, there's always a sweep as to when we're going to start in the morning. Alan Hall, hats off to you, buddy. He went for a go for the outsider bet of 9:30. Yeah, bang on time once again. So a fantastic start to the week. Congratulations to each and every one of you that went for 9:30. Like Fraser here, he got it spot on as well. So cyber pints to the both of you. Right, let's talk Rangers, Euan. News over the weekend, of course, the players are back in training, came back to pre-season training on Friday. Michael Beale gave an interesting interview to Rangers TV. The transcript of that is on the Rangers Review site, folks. I do urge you to go and check it out. He gives an update on all his new signings so far. Of course, 5 players have been brought in already. And he talks about potential transfers going forward as well. I'll just read you a snippet of what he said. He said, everyone felt we wanted new faces and freshness, and we've got that. I'm pleased to say that it won't stop there. There's maybe 2 or 3 more that we're also looking to recruit over the summer. You sort of have the first week, which you enjoy on holiday, and then you're busy thinking about coming back. It's been a really busy summer. The recruitment team and the football board have been working really hard on bringing some new players in and finalising things that will bring energy, quality and motivation. Footballers have almost 2 New Year's resolutions. They have the one before the start of the new season and the one everyone has at the new year. They look bright and they've all come back in good shape, which is fantastic. With the fixtures coming out, it becomes very real and very exciting. And then he added, he was asked what he's looking for from his new signings. He says, I always think natural enthusiasm, motivation, energy are some of the really undervalued qualities in a football club. And just speaking to these boys and their families over the summer, the excitement they have to come and join Rangers is huge. It's a very special moment for them. That energy and quality they are bringing into the building is fantastic. And for the fans, there's some new faces that they can get to know and support, and it brings a real freshness into the building. From November down, our league form and points total was healthy, but everyone felt we wanted new faces and freshness, and we've got that. What do you make of his words, Euan? That's obviously that them back in training. He said he teased 2 or 3 more. I think we'll touch on Jonathan Panzo reports over the weekend suggesting that one is close. But what did you make of Michael Beale's comments there?
Yeah, I mean that's what you may expect to hear. I think the newsy line, the one that everyone's kind of picking up on, is the 2 or 3 more faces will be here. In terms of transfers, I think it might be 4, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's interesting that he's back and he's speaking to Rangers TV. He's also a media day tomorrow at Rangers, so
yeah,
we'll get the chance to speak to Michael tomorrow and a couple of the players. So you'll probably get a little bit more information out Michael tomorrow. You'll probably see him talking about a few more things, which is quite good because you'll probably get quizzed on not just the players that are going to come in who are not here already. It'll be the players who've came in and what they're going to do. Talk about people going out the way. I know there was a kind of clip going around of him when he was speaking to Sima, saying that a couple of these players will be leaving. I seen that on social media. So I think that's all moving both ways to come, and it's just going to build excitement now the players are back. People love watching the kind of pre-season footage after maybe having a month of not seen anything to do with Rangers in terms of actually watching the players. So I think it's an exciting time for everybody.
Yeah, lots of comments coming in about who the potential players could be that will be coming in. As Euan said, though, folks, there is a media day with Rangers tomorrow, so there'll be lots of content coming your way on the site, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. As I mentioned, he talks in detail about the players that have arrived already. Some interesting points to note, and the transcript of that as well is on the Rangers review site, where he talks about Dujon, Sterling, Sam Lammers, Abdullah Sima, Jack Butland, and of course Kieran Dowell. So all 5 have already come in. As I mentioned before, Jonathan Panzo is a player that Rangers have an interest in. Reports over the weekend suggest that an agreement is close between the club and the player, of course, reaching a deal with Nottingham Forest, where Ross Wilson is currently as their sporting director. Left-sided centre-back was on loan at Coventry City in the Championship last season as they made it to the playoff final, 22 years of age. He's one that, again, I spoke to. He spent some time in France. Dijon. I spoke to someone that was close there, a journalist there that covered Dijon when Panzo was there. Talks in detail about him. I think it's clear that Michael Beale's looking to bring in left-sided reinforcements, Euan, and that ties in with what Jamie's saying here. No Ben, I don't know if we should read too much into this. No Ben Davies in the training videos. Any word on that? Should we read too much into that? I mean, it is clear that Michael Beale is looking to bring in left-sided cover there. Ben Davies, I think we touched on it in a video last week. I think he's a good player. I would have no qualms if he's part of the squad next season. However, I wouldn't be overly surprised if he moves on.
Yeah, I mean, I've not watched all the training videos, so I wouldn't know if he's there or not, or maybe he just wasn't. You didn't see him in some of the videos. That can often be the case. I mean, even if he was going to be leaving this summer, he would still be in pre-season training unless he was had a wee knock or something like that. So I don't really know that one, Jamie. But in terms of him leaving, I think it's a case with that. With a lot of players at Rangers, if the right offer comes in, then I think he could go. But I don't think he's been shunted out, pushed out the door or anything like that this summer. You know, there's players who Rangers would like to leave this summer, and then there's players who could leave. And I put Davies into that second category. There's no kind of rush to get him out the door, but if the right offer comes in, then I think he could go. Yeah. Panzo, I mean, the article in the Mail over the weekend saying that a deal had been agreed. I don't know about that. I spoke to someone close to the deal last week, and they said there wasn't any real progress. But obviously, things can change quickly. I'll check up on that today, and I'll hopefully get something out if I hear any concrete information. But it's no secret that Rangers want Panzo. He obviously plays that left centre back role. He can also play at left back as well, which is I always think interesting. You talk about Beale wanting these hybrid players, and there's been a lot of talk about left back over the summer. I think that if Panzo comes in, you've got Sterling there and Yilmaz, and I think that maybe has the writing on the wall for Barisic as well, to be honest. So, yeah, I think I quite like Panzo as a player. I know he's not had the best last few seasons. I spoke to the Coventry assistant manager, Eddie Vidas, when I was doing a profile piece on Dujon Sterling. Obviously, they had Jonathan Panzo last season, and he said that he's a really, really good player. He's rapid, really, really quick like Sterling, both exceptionally quick, both exceptionally strong. I remember from your piece, Derek, that the boy in France said he's a bit rash at times.
Yeah, gave a few penalties.
Yeah, I don't think that's inaccurate, but I think sometimes when you have players who are younger, that can be the case, and I think he's a good player. I think Michael Beale obviously knows him from Chelsea days when he was coaching in the youth, so he obviously knows he's a good player there. I think he's one that you look at someone like Todd Cantwell. I think he's a sort of poster boy for this. If Rangers can get them and sort of turn their careers around and have a real player in their hands. Remember, Panzo went to Monaco as well I think he was obviously very highly rated as a youngster. I think that a move to Rangers can really see his career kick on. Yeah,
lots of comments coming in with regards to the future of Davies. Ian Thompson saying Davies might be worth hanging on to, especially if Goldson has a season troubled with niggling injury. You have, of course, Goldson out. Hello, always good to see him in one of those videos reporting for work, but of course he'll be going through his rehab at the moment, out for some time. Lots of interesting points coming. Well, first of all, I'll get to this one from John Adams. He says, in terms of outgoings, he says he's getting worried, need to start moving players out. Are you worried about that at all, Euan? There is some concern amongst some that Rangers aren't shifting players. We just touched on Ben Davis. I don't think he's one that they'll be pushing out the door necessarily, but others that aren't part of the squads. I'm thinking, I think me and Johnny done a squad review last week, and there was a number of players in there. You would be hugely surprised if they're part of the squad next season. I'm thinking Scott Wright, Glenn Kamara. Is there any others in there that you feel that Rangers should be looking to ship out? And is a concern, like John says here, that there's not been much in the way of outgoings?
Well, I can understand why people are thinking that way, but ultimately, you can only shift a player if a bid comes in. You know what exactly. I mean? There's no, you can't just, it's not like FIFA or Football Manager where you can just, to anybody. You need that bid to come on the table, and not only that, you need a bid to come in at the right price. Rangers shouldn't be. I don't think it's a case where it's a fire sale this summer. I think Rangers need to look to get their money back on players. Another one I put in there is Ravi Matondo. I wrote about it last week, and it's just interesting. I think if Rangers aren't going to play a winger, I think he's going to struggle to get regular game time. He's going to be like sixth choice, seventh choice up front. So he'll be on a decent wage again. So if money can come into it for him, you probably sell him. I know there's interest from clubs in the English Championship, but Rangers ultimately, they can't just let players go unless bids come in, because they have to have suitors. So I think you look at Kamara as the one that Rangers think they might get the most money on this summer if they move him on. So you're looking at Kamara, Wright, McLaughlin, potentially Matondo now as well. I mean,
just when you said McLaughlin there, it was interesting. I touched on earlier, folks, when Michael Beale was talking about the goalkeeper situation next season, and he's talked about Jack Butland coming in. He says he'll compete with Robbie and with John and Kieran for the jersey. I wanted to add competition, and obviously with Alan moving on, it's a significant position for us to strengthen, and we're delighted to have him. I know he's name-checked him there, Euan, but he's one, I think, McLaughlin, I think everyone wouldn't be surprised if he moves on, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'd expect him to move on.
Are you surprised he's name-checked him there, or is that just a Michael Bealeism, do you think?
I think he's still in the building, so Michael Beale's probably including them, just in case. There might be reasons that he doesn't go eventually, and you don't want a player who's at the club who doesn't feel
absolutely
part of things. So I think that's a normal thing to do. There's obviously the Robin McCrory, maybe a story for another day, but the interesting over Robin McCrory as well, because I think he'll want to play football. At this age, he's 26. Again, I think let's be honest, Jack Butland's going to be number one. He's came up here. He'll be on very good money. He's came up here to play. So, what does Robin McCrory do? Is he happy to sit at Rangers and be a number two? I think he's 26 now, Derek, isn't he?
But I think he'll be 26. Has he had his birthday? I'm not entirely sure. But
he's either 25 or 26.
What I would say is Kieran Wright is in there as well. He's 24 years of age, and you see goalkeepers down south playing regularly younger than that. So he's another one that should be itching for game time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Kieran Wright will be quite happy to be number 3 at Rangers next season. It's kind of a promotion for him, isn't it? Because obviously he was fourth choice last season, but I do agree there'll come a time where he might want to play as well. But I just think that for Robbie especially, he came in last season, he done ever so well, I think, in the post-split fixtures. He looked really assured that he was excellent, actually, I think, in the majority of games. Maybe one game against Hibs away where he looked uncomfortable under a couple of high balls. But I think it's just an interesting one to keep an eye on this summer. I think that if Robbie McCrory wants to play football, then I don't think. Yeah, I just keep an eye on that one this summer.
Yeah, and the Skylacker said, he says, every player will get name-checked while they're still Rangers players. Absolutely. I wanted to get to a few. There's so many comments coming in. First of all, thank you to the wonderfully named Logan No Fingers for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you very much for signing up, buddy. Yes, this is our new membership scheme on the channel where you can sign up for £2.99 a month and you get 3 to 5 extra videos per week. There's actually going to be one coming a little later on this afternoon when I'll be speaking to someone, an on-air expert who will give us the lowdown on Abdullah Sima and how he got on last year over there in France. So that'll be on the way a little later on. But yeah, we're getting great feedback for it already. I think we're just surpassed, I'm sure, 250 members. Just launched it a few weeks ago. So hearing great things. It's easy to sign up, folks. It should be the join button on the homepage of our YouTube site. If you click that, then you can sign up for and become a member. Right, let's get to a few more of the comments coming in. Just on the extra transfers, Alan McConnell says, Bill said 2 or 3 more. Surely it has to be at least 3. Cifuentes and Dessers are close, and a centre-back is needed. Panzo, ? Those are the 3, I think, most likely. Euan, I think Dessers is one again, edging ever closer. He's looking like he's going to sign a 4-year deal at Rangers. Seen figures quoted in the region of £4.5 million, which is a significant outlay for a guy at 28 years of age. I don't think realistically Rangers will recoup that, but they should be getting a ready-made striker ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, no, I think it's obviously one that Michael Beale's wanted for a while. It looks like there's been obviously negotiations over the price for some time. That story kind of emanated from Italy saying that he didn't want to move to Rangers. I think that was just negotiation tactics. That's probably been leaked out there.
It's probably naughty from Cremonese, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. You get reports, and then you also sometimes see that clubs are linked to other players. That makes other clubs think, oh, maybe they'll move on from this target, and it can speed things up. It's just all, it's just transfers. It's just how it works. So, Beale obviously wants the player. He's going to be coming as he's a number 9, isn't it? He's a centre forward. He obviously plays one of the split strikers, I believe. And I've seen the comment there about Michael Beale said 2 or 3. I think it'll be 4. I think it will be the 3 players mentioned there plus one more striker. I do. And then there's obviously business could happen based on who leaves the club. But I mean, I think it looks like Dessers and Cifuentes could even be done this week. The Cifuentes one's kind of went quiet and rumbled on, but it's always been our understanding that it was always going to get done at the start of July. Not necessarily done start of July, but that's when there would be movement on it, just due to his contract situation. So I think this week you might see significant movement on the Cifuentes one as well. Yeah,
there's a comment there saying that I hate to say it, but if Dessers, Cifuentes and Panzo, then I'm wildly disappointed. I don't think I'd be wildly disappointed to be honest, but I think that extra striker you said, Euan, apparently, of course, we know that Danilo of Feyenoord has been heavily linked. Rangers have had a bid, an initial bid turned down by the Eredivisie champion. Skylacker says you'll need to getting that Feyenoord podcast guy on the morning briefing if this Danilo deal progresses. Yeah, absolutely. He's a good lad. As Johan Brinkel gave us a bit of insight, of course, when Van Bronckhorst arrived. He told us a lot about Dessers as well. I'd urge you to go and check that video out, folks. It's gives us a bit of a flavour of what we can expect from Cyriel Dessers. But Danilo, I was of the belief that if they got Dessers in Euan, then it might stop the interest in Danilo, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Is he the one you think that they'll try and bring in as well? Of course, Josh Madgett's gone a little bit quiet there, so would Danilo be your preference to come in?
I think that's the 2 names, isn't it? That's the ones that we know for a fact that Rangers are interested in both players. The Madge one's been complicated, but I think last week in France the Bordeaux's appeal was kicked out, so that can draw a line under the sand with that, and then you can obviously look to speak to the player. They'll obviously be interested in Madge from other clubs, and but it's interesting to see how it works. I don't know what Beale's budget was, but you'd think that bringing in Madge would be slightly cheaper than Danilo, just in terms of there's no transfer fee. There'll be a significant wages and there'll be a signing on bonus, but you think that'd be a little bit of a cheaper one to do. But you don't know who Michael Beale fancies. I'm sure he'll be quizzed a lot tomorrow on transfer business, and it's obviously a talking point as well. I think it's great that Michael Beale can be quite open. I know some fans maybe says he talks too much at times, but I think you want your manager to kind of be as honest and open and as transparent as you can be without giving up, too much information. I think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, one of the criticisms over Gio was he was very restrained and reserved. Fans didn't really get much out of him, didn't really know what was going on at times. So I think you've got to find a happy medium. But I think Michael Beale speaks really well, and certainly from a media point of view, he's brilliant.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he adopts his press conference tact next season. I think there was a few grumblings from some quarters that he might say a little bit too much in press conferences. It's brilliant for us, of course. It's a huge amount of content and little nuggets that you sometimes miss when you go and speak to Michael Beale. But he's just a football man, loves talking about the game, and it really is a real joy to listen to him. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if it changes next season. Let's get to a few of the comments that are coming. First of all, just a bit of admin. Billy McHugh says, Derek, change my email address. Who do I contact, pal? If you DM us on Facebook or Twitter, Billy, that is the best bet. If you do that, we should be able to sort that out for you and get that sorted. Just going back to, of course, I'm heading out to Bangkok, as I mentioned. Mortal Prince says, hot in Bangkok. I checked the old weather app yesterday, and even though it's raining season, it's like 35 degrees, so absolutely sweltering over there. So hopefully I don't decombust. Graham Morrison said, morning lads, as usual, class content. Thanks very much, Graham. Get those likes in, folks. Yeah, absolutely. Like the channel, folks. It helps us a great deal. Right, there was a couple of comments coming in. First of all, Bob White says, when does the squad travel to Germany? I believe am I right in thinking that the pre-season game with Hoffenheim, that sort of culminate the end of, are they going out there for sort of a week-long training camp, Euan? Is that your understanding, or do we know the details yet on that one?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure when they go out. I think it might be in a fortnight's time. So I think that is the. Also, we'll find out more tomorrow, but I think the plan is that Hoffenheim game will be the kind of end of the pre-season camp in Germany. I'm not even sure where they're going in Germany. I'm not necessarily sure it's Hoffenheim. I think they're going to Bavaria.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's somewhere up in the mountains, very, very secluded.
Yeah.
I don't know, as we know, my geography on Germany is terrible.
Yeah. And thanks to there was a chap that I'll try and get the message up now that corrected you when we was talking about Hoffenheim last week. Kenny Vine, thank you very much for messaging me, Kenny. He says Hoffenheim is actually a real place. However, the team play in the neighbouring town of Seinsheim. He only knows this as he played the stadium version of GeoGuessr when bored in work. So there you go. Every day's a school day.
Hopefully his employer wasn't listening into that. Just outed him. But no, I'm not too sure. Also, I'm going over for the game and presumably the end of the trip. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think all the friendlies are quite exciting. Pre-season games can be a bit strange at times, but I think when there's so many new faces, it makes it quite exciting to watch. Everyone will be kind of making their judgment on the players, because presumably I think a lot of them haven't been watched too much by people in Scotland. So I think it's a very exciting pre-season. I'm excited about a number of players. I don't know who you're most excited about, but I think Dujon Sterling and Sam Lammers, that's the two I'm going to pick out. Put my head in the chopping block here and say that they're the two players that I'm really looking forward to seeing how they adjust. I think they can be both great additions.
Yeah, Lammers. Yeah, after I spoke to Marco Negri and Sergio Perini last week, and they spoke highly of Lammers. They're excited to see him also. Yeah, he's one for me. Hopefully they can get his head right. I think he suffered maybe a lack of confidence in recent seasons, but hopefully, as Michael Beale says, he's got somewhere to call home now, and he can really kick on. That aside, if Kieran Dell can stay fit, and I know that's easier said than done, then I think he could be a real astute signing as well. So there is certainly, as Michael Beale says, some freshness, a bit of excitement and optimism, I think, within the camp. lots of comments coming in. Ian Thompson, just looking for a shout out. Hi, Derek. Big shout out to my father who's over from New Zealand and watching the show in real time. Hopefully see you all at Edmonton House. Absolutely fantastic and good to have you, your old man, tuning in, Ian. And yeah, that would be fantastic if you join us for the live show, of course. On the 28th of May, we'll be playing at New Edmonton House Rangers Review live. Myself, Johnny, Joshua, Stevie, and a very special guest as well will be joining us. So we hope that we can see as many of you in person as at all possible. Doors open at 6:30. So it's sure to be a cracking night. You can get tickets on the New Edmonton House website, and I'm sure there are still tickets available for it. So do go and check them out. Dean Milne says, "Have you only got 3 friendlies confirmed? Hamburg, Newcastle, the Alan McGregor testimonial, of course. Hoffenheim. Is there any others I've missed there? I know Olympiacos was mooted. I don't. That's not yet been confirmed yet. Any others you can foresee, Euan?
That's all that's been confirmed. I think there'll be at least one more. There'll probably be a couple. I think there might be a behind closed door game in there as well. At least one. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to play maybe one behind closed door game over in Germany as well before they play Hoffenheim. So yeah, I think there'll be another one announced, probably at Ibrox. Olympiacos has been muted. That's why it's been kind of quiet on that. So we need to wait and see. But there'll be other games. You tend to find quite a lot of behind closed door games in pre-season as well. So I'm sure they'll be getting to action. It's still quite a while until the first game, isn't it? Is it the 18th? Alan McGregor's testimonial.
18th.
That's still over 2 weeks away. So I imagine there'll be one played maybe before then. Maybe not this week, but the week after. But I don't know if that'll be behind closed doors or what.
Yeah, and as Alan Hall says, Leeds at Ibrox getting closer. Chris Jack reported it's a possibility. That's another game that was mooted as well. But until that they're confirmed by the clubs, they are just rumours at the moment. But I know Leeds and Olympiacos were both opponents that have been rumoured to be taking on Rangers. Both at Ibrox, incidentally, as well. I know a lot of fans, and speaking to a lot of fans at Bury last week, everyone loves an away day. I love an away day as much as everyone else, especially down south. I think the atmosphere at that Bury game at Giggle Lane, the Legends game for the Lee Rugby Foundation was brilliant. Great atmosphere from all the supporters, and they represented the club with a lot of class. But yeah, at the moment, I don't think there's any apart from Hoffenheim away from home. But yeah, certainly, hopefully, there'll be one for the supporters to go to. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting fitness, getting the players up to speed for what is going to be a monumental season for Rangers. It's vitally important they hit the ground running and they reclaim that Premiership title. Right, let's get to some more comments before we wrap up for the day. First of all, great. Lovely little, we always love a bit of feedback here on the Rangers Review. Dean Milne says, loving the content on the website and YouTube membership. Had a fractured foot since the start of May, so I've been stuck at home ever since. And this channel has kept me going. Well, thank you very much for that, Dean. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully you're on the mend soon. It doesn't sound too good there, but yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll just wrap. Well, as I mentioned earlier on, folks, there is that media day at Ibrox tomorrow, so there will be lots of content coming your way. We'll be speaking to Michael Beale, hopefully one or two players as well. There's actually a comment that was coming in there. I'm trying to find it now with regards to that day tomorrow and asking Michael Beale. I think it was on Namdi Offabor. That was Dean that actually raised the question. Wonder if anyone will quiz Beale and Offabor tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure who it was that asked about him last week, but there is no update from the time that Michael Beale spoke about Namdi at the latter part of last season. We may get an update on him tomorrow, but I don't think he's any closer to getting back on the field, unfortunately. But yeah, we wish Namdi all the very best. Right, folks, I think that'll do us there. As I mentioned, I'm flying off to Thailand later on this evening. We'll bring you lots of content from Bangkok, from the ORSA convention. If you're heading out there, hope to see you all there. There's a number of great events planned. A lot of excursions, a lot of Rangers legends heading out there as well. So plenty of meet and greets and opportunities to hear stories from actual bona fide Rangers legends. So it's sure to be a great week. Johnny will be in the hosting chair tomorrow, so we'll have you covered anyway. And as I mentioned, we'll have all the fallout from the media day and then some. Just a reminder, I will be speaking to the Onjers journalist a little later on. That will be available for the members around about 5 o'clock this evening, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, big thanks to Euan and for everyone for interacting with the show as ever. We'll speak to you again later. Bye for now.